meeting of the Radio Club. Let's see, any visitors here tonight? Keith is visiting with us. Tell us about yourself, Keith.
My name's Steve Vincent, originally from the great state of Indiana. Anybody else from the great state of Indiana?
I've flown over.
My parents moved here in '86. I came here in '88. Retired 6 years. Chesterfield, I retired 8 years ago. And I work for Amazon. I'm a security and loss prevention manager at the Amazon Center down in Edon. I have a son who's 28. I recently married. He's a biochemist in Frankfurt, Germany. I have a few different hobbies. I enjoy anything outdoors, camping, hiking. I dabble in solar. I've got some solar panels at home and solar generators and that sort of thing. I've always been interested in amateur radio. I guess it started out when I was a little kid. My dad had a Panasonic, it was just a receiver, and I don't know what it was, but especially at night, I would just sit there and just mess with the dial and just listen to people all over the world talk about all sorts of things, so always interested. Yeah, I'm having rotator cuff surgery in January, so I think that'll be plenty of time to study for.
So you don't have a license yet?
Yeah.
You're in the right place.
Yep.
Okay, well, since you're new, I'm Rick Waller, K4H, almost ex-president.
Bruce McKelton before BRU. Will Jackson, KR4CE.
Ken Leitner, WB0L, I'm the treasurer.
Folger, KQ4GP, make sure I'm an accent.
We know. We wouldn't have noticed otherwise.
Dennis, K4DAF.
John Pitchman, KX4QC.
That's a German accent,
I'm Steve. Steve, KBAMAN. David Robinson, KJ4LHD.
Tom, KG4BIZ.
Tom, KD4CMK.
Lauren, W4LEW.
Whiskey Delta 3 Oscar Day.
Brother David, W4IIA. Mike K4RKO.
Kathleen, K5HTV.
Yay! Dan, W4ERF.
Daryl, WW4.
Ron, KQ4LDA.
Armin, WA1QO.
Jim, W4, EKR.
Well, welcome to,
Who we have on the line?
oh, yeah.
Yeah, keep forgetting about this.
Online people, you identify yourselves?
Hi, I'm Steve Eilert, KM4IBQ in Petersburg. I'm a new member, or hope to be a new member.
Hello, David, KM4LQN.
Right, come on in.
Are you a visitor?
No, I'm a member,
Okay.
a couple of weeks ago.
Tell us on what your call is. We're going to the right now.
You want to call now?
Yeah, and your name.
John Wilmington, KB4SCB.
And Daryl. Did you introduce yourself yet, Daryl? Dan.
Dan. Yeah, where did you be?
Daryl. That's why it looks like Daryl.
Diane, would you want to introduce yourself? Diane on Zoom?
Hello. Call signs in chat.
Okay.
I just passed last Friday.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I plan to sit for my general on November 9th, I think is the next test date you guys have. Nice to meet everybody.
Nice to meet you.
We have a lot of expertise in this stuff in different areas, and just about, I think we can cover just about anything that you're interested in, so, you can ask and you can, fill you in.
By the way, did anybody ever tell Rick that you have to pay to get over the presidency?
I'm waiting.
So anyway, why don't we go ahead and start our business meeting? And why don't we start, I guess everyone has, reviewed the minutes that were in the newsletter that Armin came posted for us. Does anyone have any questions about the minutes or comments? I request a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Now, if we could have Ken Lively give us a treasurer's report.
Okay, the good news is at this room, I can stay seated at least. We started with $17,327.03. We had, an extra class, $22, a donation of $22. Basically, that was a member who is over the age of 80 who said, I'm gonna pay my dues anyway. We had 2 other memberships, and since it was a half a year, we, $22 for the 2 of them. And then we had, our FCC classes, so we ended up with, let's see, $308 for the FCC classes, bringing the total income $374. We had to pay for the DNS name for our backup site. It was a whopping $11.66. So, the DNS name for the backup site is reasonably cheap. And then for the people who paid with PayPal, we had $18.12 that PayPal took from us. So we ended up the month with $17,671.25. We made some money for a good chunk
All right.
of that. And I have 3 new members. 2 of them are more or less present, we'll put it that way. We have Steve, and your last name is Elbert?
Eilert,
Oh,
Steve.
okay.
Steve Eilert.
I got the wrong person with the name, I'm sorry. He's an advance, KM4 EQ. Okay,
Correct.
okay, he does not have a call sign.
We're working on it, right? As of right now, I guess.
All right, and the third one is John Workington. He's an extra. And, so I have right behind me.
Man, welcome.
Well,
Yeah, we
well,
passed it.
oh, yeah, so, can I have a motion to, admit these guys as members?
Motion of second.
Second, detail.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Super. You are now members.
Bruce, did you want to say anything about the schools?
School's going fine. We got, all 3 classes running. George Stark, who teaches the, tech class, and taught it for a long time, says the I-95 is becoming impossible for him to get here. He doesn't know whether it's gonna take him 20 minutes or an hour and 20 minutes. So he will not be teaching in the spring. So I'm gonna be looking for an experienced instructor to take over the tech class. So if your arm begins to hurt a little bit, that twisting motion, you'll know what it is, okay? If any of you are or know somebody who's experienced teaching adults and care to step up and teach tech, which is a great way to introduce people to ham radio, please let me know, okay?
Are we doing this class live now?
Oh, we've been doing the classes live right along, yeah. Yeah, all 3.
I mean,
Gwen is not here, so I'm gonna ask you to tell us, there's something going on with the Easter repeater. You sent an email about it.
Yeah, it certainly is. The repeaters themselves are working fine. There's no problem at all with repeaters. The problem is with the software that links the repeaters to whatever, it's the gateway software, and it has died. Jim Bates, who's been writing that for a long time now, said it's obsolete, it's no longer supported, it's not fixable the way it is right now. So Wynn is looking into fixes for that. He said he has somebody on tap to take Jim's place. That has volunteered to be the administrator for things IT having to do with the with the East Terry Peters. That's about all that I know. For
Is
right
that
now.
commercial software or is it shareware or is it?
I'm talking to the wrong guy, I don't know. So right now, the net that we have on Wednesday nights will be, like I did last Wednesday, juggled between the repeaters and the reflector 97. Not great, but it went, but we have more people who check into that net via the reflector. We only had 10 check-ins last Wednesday, only 2 of them came in by RF onto the repeaters. The rest were all through Zoom spots and hotspots through the reflector. So
Thank you for that. Jim, did you want to make any announcements about upcoming?
I do, actually, thank you. I'm Jim, W4PKR, and I still need volunteers for the Richmond Marathon, which is November the 16th. I have 7 slots left to fill, which is actually doing very well because we need a little over 40 people. You don't need experience, although I'm getting more inexperienced people joining up. I'm pairing them with experienced people. I do need some people who have been hands for a little while, who've done a couple or 2, 3 events, or who have won nets of one kind or another. So if you're interested and you're here, come and see me. If you're online, go to volunteer@rats.net. That's the word volunteer at rats.net. And you will be sent a registration link. So it's a really good opportunity. If you're interested at all in emergency communication, it's a great way to hone your MCOM skills because you're out there in the field and we operate the net, or nets, I should say, we have 3 of them. Much like the an emergency net in the field. It's a great way to give back to our community. It shows our community what we can do as hams. And for the first time, this is our 4th event for Sport Factors, which is the company that puts on the 10K race, the marathon, and some other races. We are primary communicators at all of the water stops, which is 16 water stops. They are renting a DMR radio, motor turbo radios, it's the same thing, but they're not supplying their people with radios at the water stops, so we are the primary communicators at the water stops. And we're in 3 of the 4 medical tents. And we have SAG drivers, SAG vans, we have 4 volunteers with the SAG drivers. I'd like to have a couple of floaters to put out fires along the course. And I still need some water stops filled. So if you're interested, come and see me. Or like I said, volunteer@rats.net. And I hope I get a couple of you tonight, so.
And it's a bunch of fun. I did my first one last year. I'm standing there waiting and this wall, and the street is absolutely blank. You got all the other volunteers with the water stop here, so you're talking to them. All of a sudden, this wave of people comes at you. And it's fascinating to watch them come by. Then you have several different groups, you have to keep track of which groups are coming by. And I discovered, by the way, if any of you get into this, they want to know the first male bib number that comes by. It's tough to do as they run by. One of the guys said, take a picture of it on your camera, and then, read it off to the microphone. So, but it's just so much fun. So you'll get up too early in the morning, but you'll have a grand time. And you've got to be mixing up with people in the water stop and everything else. So it's a great time.
I'm going. I'm going.
Good.
Sign up.
I signed up.
Yep.
Sharon
Who didn't sign up? Raise your hand.
Anyone else have any announcements?
I do have one. I'm pretty much the main webmaster for the website. Just recently, I went through a very painful exercise in trying to update some of the background software that we're using. And I ended up having to throw away a piece of software because it was incompatible with the new release. It hasn't been supported for the last 8 or more years. So that caused me to have to struggle a little bit, but all of the software on the website now is current. Some of the, if you know anything about HTTP, there's a PHP underneath that. And we are at the latest release that has been made available. So we're as current as we can be with that. We run WordPress. We are as current as we can be with that on both sites that we use. The backup site is used mainly for me to make sure that I don't screw up the production site when I make some changes. The next thing I have to do, unfortunately, is make a change on the production site so that you get the little lock on these half bar across when you're logging on. Basically, that says you're at the site you think you're at. And that's a security issue. And every year I have to update it. And every year I go, what in that? It's a very painful process. We end up doing that at like 2 o'clock in the morning or something like that too. Because it does take the site and put it in maintenance mode, which means you can't really log on or get to it. So I have that yet to do, but that's the last thing I have to do for the annual stuff plus paperwork. The websites come due, and as I say, the DNS came due for the backup one. The production site costs a little bit more. I think it's the DNS for the production was like $30, $35.
It's a little higher than I thought it was. I know it's something like that for the main site.
Yeah, the main.
I've got a site that I do for my ships reunion group, and it's like $48 a year or something like that.
It's, so .net's a little more expensive than .com.
Yeah.
We have .net. The backup site, last qualifier's backup, so that's why it's $11. It's, who goes to that? So that, oh, I do have a question for everybody. I tested this out on the backup site. It works, it's just a little bit of work for me. To allow people to leave comments on the website. Right now, you cannot leave a comment actually on the site that other people have the ability to look at. Do you think we should allow it? What it means is I have to edit every one of them and make sure they're acceptable to be left on the site. So it's a lot of work on that site. But do you think we should allow it or not?
What it's worth, I run a website that invites comments on ham radio, and it's interesting. Currently, we get around 1,800 visitors who read for anyone who writes anything. Now, the anything can be a 4-letter expletive. So the ones that so come and make use of the facility at all, really is a very, very few.
It's a radio policy?
Yeah, you made it to the right place.
Where we can get some more chairs. Yeah, we get to. Last one down the end.
We have some in the corner too.
But I have a contact us facility on it. With people who have difficulties or want to know something. And that seems to be much more appreciated.
Okay. As I say, it's something I had.
Hey, Rick,
It works.
you might turn the air
A
conditioner
lot
on.
of work for me.
On, amen to that.
Yeah. So at this point, since there isn't a pouring per se, yeah, let's do it.
That's what
I won't turn it on the production site.
Don't you think it's gonna be?
No, I think that's an awful lot of work for you to have to, and-
Okay.
and the
Now, we
danger
do
of
have
it,
a place where people can send comments
yeah.
to the board.
Yeah.
Or to the webmaster. So we have that available.
The danger you get trolls.
Yeah, I think the fact that we have a number of ones at RARC.net you can send emails to.
Mhm.
We do get some junk
Oh, yes.
from some of the,
Yeah.
and
We have some very interesting chunks.
but most of them are also in Russian, so.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know, but for what it's worth, I'm not junk immune, but with careful setting up of the software for automatic and manual screening, it isn't actually just at present much of an issue. It really is not. As you say, most of the oddities are obvious oddities like very odd IP addresses, etc. And there's a good list of those to avoid. So
Yeah, so it's, as I say, it's an interesting thing. The thing we do for the officers, there's an email address for the president at the club website that then gets forwarded to whoever the president is. So their personal address is never.
And I get a lot of junk mail there.
Oh, yes, there's
Quite a bit.
There's quite a little bit that rolls through. Lately, I've been getting some emails, quote unquote, from our president
Yeah.
that say,
How many
hey,
people have I asked for money?
I'm meeting with somebody and I need some money. Yeah.
Pay up, Steve.
Yeah.
I will not ask anyone for money.
Our Patrick gets the same thing.
Yeah, so those are pretty obvious
Yeah.
that they're not really from.
Well, actually, some people take it, Steve got one and he kind of took it a few steps before he realized it was not there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because it really looks authentic.
yeah, well, we
Oh, yeah,
had one.
They still need to pay up.
But when John was still president, that was from him and it went out to the entire membership. That was an old membership list that was out on Google. And it went to everybody saying, hey, I need some money. And, you know, the typical, go get a credit card and you can send me the number and all this, so I didn't use the money. We quickly sent out an email to everybody that said that was a farce. And then I went out to where it was at on Google and it's no longer there.
Well, you know how long it's been since I was president. Well, one of Jim Bates's sites,
Yeah.
he put my name as a contact for the club, and then he forgot how to get into that site. And it was several years, I kept getting calls, emails about the club and.
Yeah, and if anybody has an article or something that they would like to see up on the website, please let me know. If you can send it to me machine readable, that's even best. So if you have something like a flyer, if you can make a PDF out of it and send it to me, that's fine, I can put it up on the website.
what PDF
PDF, but
is that? What is your preferred?
oh, it's. Basically, if you send it to me in that, I have the ability to modify it, we'll put that.
Right.
I can extract pictures if necessary, I can edit, change text. You know, whatever I need to do with it. Where if you just send me a picture, then I have to go through and play harder. So, but anything like that, I mean, I occasionally will receive in the mail, apply for a hand fest or something of that nature. And I'll take it, scan it, make a PDF out of it, put it up on the website, so anything like that, if anybody has. So,
You're a fan of something that, through there. Go ahead. Two things. We have, 3 nets. 6 meter on Sunday night on 5135. We have one on 10 meters on Wednesday. And 2475. We also have an FM net, 6 meters. If you get the word out, we have, you know, a few people on each one, but it needs to be filled out. And I haven't found a way of speaking here to go ahead and get people's attention that we need to get some attendance on these, especially on FM 6 meters.
And the DDXG net on Thursday as well.
I have to send something to your handball net and get it on there.
Sure.
Well, we have a calendar that we maintain that, people can look at, has all the next by date.
Right.
Somebody just sent me a note about one that's out of date, needs to be taken off, but, we put that needed, right?
Did you get the 80 meter, my 80 meter net?
As far as I know, it's on there.
Okay, and there's there's a group that, on 40, on, 7234, Monday through Friday.
Well, if you look at our calendar, you don't see what we
That's
need,
not
you
a
can tell.
club, but anybody would be
These
well.
other listed in the newsletter.
Right.
So, and one more thing, I'm gonna cut them in quick. It come up on a couple of, my nets there about, something about, the radio telescope up in West Virginia. Trying to set up a tour at some point, maybe in the spring. For club members to go up and make a day journey up there. And see this thing, I've never seen it. But the big thing, people I've talked to, it's quite impressive. And it's well worth the adventure, but I don't know how to set it up. And I know that, for the new administration, we need to consider that. Under the club auspices, to be able to go ahead and do something like that.
You talking about Green Bank?
Yes, because I've never been there, but I heard a lot about it, and I think it was a very interesting site as a group from this club to venture up there.
We could get a tour.
Right, I don't know what we have to, yes, we have to set up something, get it organized, but those are the two things, Rick, thank you so much, sir.
Now, Ken, will, the members be getting an emailing toward the end of the year about membership renewal?
Yeah, late November, I will send an email to everybody reminding them of, so the renewals will start on December 1st. And for the people who are over 80, it's free, but you have to respond to fill out the renewal form so that I know, and I hate to be as crass as this, but it's to tell me that you're still alive.
Yeah, I feel I'm the same way. Maybe you sign up every year to see if it's still alive. That's really
Yeah.
fun.
Because we basically, the treasurer before me, Richard, he would comb the obituaries and notes and then verify that that really was the ham, it's really the same person and whatnot. I don't subscribe to the paper, so I don't hold the obits in paper, and I don't do it online either. So that's my way of doing it. And the good news is that even if I drop you as a member, then if you come back later and you say, hey, I'm still here. It's an easy thing for me to put you back on. Basically, one of the things that we maintain is an inactive, i.e. people who have not paid. So come March 1st, or the new ones, I'll purge everybody who has not renewed. They go to the inactive list and they stay there until I remember that I need to remove people. I've had people who have been on there, come back 8 years later. And say, hey, I'd like to be a member.
I came back to last.
And the thing is, for me, it's automated, okay? And so I have a program that takes your call sign, goes, looks to see if you're over there in the inactive. If you're inactive, I say you cannot, I can't process you as a new member. I process you as a member being reactivated. And the biggest difference is you don't get voted on if you're being reactivated because you've been a member. So that will come out then. I will remind you several times through if you haven't paid yet, that you need to do it. And I break you into the people who really don't have to pay, but you have to respond. The people that have to pay. There is a group of people who, because of in the past, we had such a long time, they would pay multiple times. And so for those people, it turns out they've already paid for next year. Some of them have paid for through 07. And so I send a special email to them. You don't have to renew, you're already paid your current and your dues for the next year already, so. You get one of three types of emails from them.
I think we can. So they're due December, just to clarify that.
The new dues is due January first. You can start doing the renewals December first, and you have to have it paid by February the 28th/29th day, which year we're in.
One other fellow came in, Pittsburgh Steeler guy. We didn't catch your name. Bernie, are you a visitor? Or are you a member? Okay. What's your call, Bernie?
884 NBQ.
Okay. All right then. Let's see, any other old business before we get on to new business?
Over here. I would like to take a moment to shamelessly advertise my big awesome thing that I'm doing at the Keystone Truck and Tractor Museum, my radio exhibit. Been working on it for 10 months. The last time I saw you guys, January, I rambled on for a while about what we're gonna do. I figured it out. And on December 29th, which is my, no, sorry, I say that every time. October 29th, which is my dad's birthday, I thought it would be fun if we had a little thing over there, just to everybody come over and see what's going on. Come look at my stuff.
She has a nice little video on it.
Yeah, I do have a really good video. I did good, which is on Facebook and Google, but I knew a lot of you guys aren't on there, so how do I get to you? I don't know. I'll send you a QSL card.
There you go.
Yeah.
Is that something we can potentially put on the website?
What's the timing on that?
We can put that on the wall.
Yeah.
Let's go get my daughter from school. I'm open to, when are you coming?
All right, say again, what time?
October 29th.
29th.
I mean, they open at 9.
No, okay, that's what I want.
You do, unfortunately, you do have to pay now to get in there, because I had snuck a bunch of y'all in there, but that's over, we have to pay now.
Well, but give yourself plenty of time. You get in there, the radio
Yeah, it's
exhibit's
big,
nice. You get to see those old trucks and some of those strange old trucks.
Yeah,
And some of those tractors and some of those weird kind of tractors. You're gonna be there a good part of the day.
yeah.
Wear comfortable shoes.
The Keystone Truck and Tractor Museum in Colonial Heights. So now I have a Facebook, I changed my old thing over to my new thing, which is the radio lady of Colonial Heights. And so that's what I'm enrolling.
Send me something, I'll feature it on the
There
website.
you go.
Cool.
Yes.
So you need to send-
Likewise.
You need to send a picture of the wild lady that
Oh,
had
yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. All right, so the item of new business.
So this is Bernie, can I make an announcement?
Go ahead, Bernie.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry I was late.
All right.
As you can see, I'm blind, I have a time finding this place. But I came tonight, I actually got my technician license about 11 years ago. And to be honest, I got it at this club and Richard, I don't remember his last name, is he still around?
No, if you're talking about Richard Arnold, he passed.
I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, he was a great help to me. He actually, used to pick me up and brought me to a few meetings and helped me get my license. I'm sorry to hear that he passed away. He was a great guy. Anyway, long story short, I got my technician license and I first moved to this area because I got a job with the federal government. And I still work for the federal government, but the point I'm trying to get to is I had 2 kids, 2 teenagers, and basically I got my license, my technician license, but I've never been able to really use it, and I really don't know what I'm doing. And I just renewed my license last year, and so I guess I'm here to I'm here to kind of network and to see if there's anyone willing to help me kind of get going and show me what to do. I have a new radio that I bought on Amazon, it's a tiny thing. And so, if anyone's willing to kind of, mentor me or show me what to do, I appreciate it.
We'll have folks reach out to you in the intermission between.
Okay.
Where are you physically located?
I live off of, I live in North Chesterfield off of Paco Shot, in between, Hall Street and Midlothian.
There's, the answer to your question, there's a lot of things you can do with a technician's license,
Yeah.
including right now, talk to stations around the world with 10 meters, so there's a lot you can do.
Yeah.
Okay.
But again, the next question is like, and this is the goal of mine, I'm actually, the secretary nominee is like, it becomes really overwhelming because it's like, what do you do? So you've come to the right place, because that's been a big discussion of the club, is like helping people find what to do.
I think we got folks here that have done just about everything in radio that you're interested in. If you have an interest, we can give you general information or get you to the person who can give you more specific information.
And is that a handheld radio you bought?
We'll talk to you during the
Yeah.
break, before we start accosting you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got people that can help program it for you too, I know.
Yes,
That'd be great.
yeah.
So, getting on to, the one item of new businesses, we have a slate of unopposed candidates, and I'll ask everyone to stand up. With Darrell Bassinger for president, Lauren Ware for vice president, Will Jackson for secretary, Ken Leitner for treasurer, Volker for board, Dan for board. Did I leave out anybody? So let's see.
Yeah.
And so Steve, Walls will be stepping down from his board position, Armin will be stepping down from his board position. Who's the guy, the guy from Maine? Gene will be stepping down from his board position. I will be on the board as the past president, and Darrell will be able to appoint his candidate for the board. So I'd like to ask that the members vote by affirmation, since there's no opposing candidates. So I would request a motion to vote for these candidates by affirmation. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I guess, I know there's been a scenario again. What happens in November? I know.
November, we take the oath of office.
Okay,
So officially, we start our duties next month.
okay.
And they pass on the, what is it called? Boot bomb. Finger bomb. Finger and fake, yeah.
And the gavel, there's the gavel.
Yeah, but we don't follow the gavel. Finger and fake.
So if there's, no other business items, I request a motion to end the business meeting.
So moved.
Seconded. In favor? So,
I don't know where.
our son has been doing some interesting things recently.
The main thing is we, so now, did any of you work with the Maker Fest when you used to have the science museum? Some of you did, yeah. Okay, so, that kind of rolled over and died in like 2018. Part of it was a funding thing that the science museum didn't want to pay for it anymore, and nobody else would come up with the money. This time it's a different group called Build RVA that's restarting it. And we're having it at Deep Run High School in Glen Ellen. It's gone from some heavy-duty business type project managers who did that sort of thing to a bunch of very nice, very enthusiastic 30-somethings that work for Build RVA. And I went to Build RVA and I increased the age level by an incredible level when I walked in. And it says something for the place. It's in Scott's Addition. If you've been to Scott's Addition on like a Friday night or a Saturday, I remember vaguely when I was that age that what you did on Friday nights and Saturdays was drank like crazy and tried to mate. That was kind of what life was about. And well, it depended on what order you could do. I mean, whatever. But anyway, so it's a very different kind of crowd. Anyway, they're very enthusiastic makers. They got a nice maker space. Their maker space, unlike Hack RVA, has beer machines. So, you know, it's an interesting sort of place. Hack RVA is for a little bit older and has some heavier machinery. Build RVA has got a lot of good machinery as well. But the whole maker thing, if you remember about it, had to do with people who were sick of just buying stuff. They wanted to build stuff. And so, and if you're interested in that sort of thing, there's Hack RVA, there's Build RVA. Hack RVA is like on Dabney Road. Build RVA is in Scott's Addition. And the other one, if you're interested, is the Science Museum. If you remember the Science Museum, on Saturdays you can use the Forge. And the Forge has some really nice equipment. So you have to take an orientation session, but as a member you can sign up for a Saturday morning and CNC machine, lasers, etchers, drill presses, every kind of saw you can think of. So it's for people who live in apartments. It's for people who live in places where they really can't have stuff. I have some tools myself, but I don't have a drill press. So if I want to do some precise drilling, I go over there and I can use the drill press. So, the heavy duty machines you might not have in your house that you want to do stuff with. So those are the three that you can look at. Anyway, Build RVA is putting this together. I'm going to hand these around. This is the date. Just kind of hand these around and just take one. So I'm going to give you a little background with the slideshow. There we go. Go right here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's the brochure I'm handing around. These folks are kind of signed up to do some stuff. Okay, you want to do it again?
Oh, we didn't share it.
Oh, we didn't share it. Okay.
It just hit me.
Yeah, you have to share it, then you got to start it again. I think you made it. Not works that way.
Yeah.
There you go, got it now.
Got it, okay. So John King is going to run the spectrum display. I'll show you the layout a little bit later, but we've done this now 4 or 5 times, so we kind of got the basic thing down. We don't know, at the Science Museum we had 7,000 people come through, okay? I don't think we have anything like that, but I don't know what it's going to be. But ham radio is kind of invisible, so this is a way for us to become visible, both from a maker point of view, but also from a hobby point of view. So it's a way of becoming visible. When we did the Science Museum one, even though we had all the people come by, we'd have 1 or 2 people who'd sign up for tech the next semester, so it did have some of that effect. The biggest thing is, people don't know that we exist. One of the things, Dan, that we probably ought to have, we probably need, Dan knows how to get this publicity stuff done. We probably need a big probably a big poster that says, you have to check the numbers for me, but in our Richmond, Petersburg area, we have about 3,000 hams. In the state of Virginia, we have about 17,000 hams.
Wow.
And in the United States, we have just under 780,000. Most people don't know that's true, so we need probably to have a poster for that.
Got it.
And I think we ought to have at the bottom of the poster, the reason you don't see us is the HOAs don't let us put up antennas. When I was a kid, I used to see the antennas, right? Well, you guys have got antennas, we just don't see them because you had to hide them in your attic or put them inside of a tree or something. Or
They can't stop you now.
huh? Yeah, they still can. HOAs, that didn't pass. It didn't pass. Huh?
It's federal law.
Did not pass. No, it's, Congress can't get anything done, and that's one thing that didn't get done. Even though there was agreement between the HOA association and everybody else, that just died in committees for about the 3rd time. Anyway, so John is going to so that's the thing we're after, is people to see ham radio, to know how to get into it, that sort of thing. John's going to do the spectrum display. Sir?
Is there gonna be news media there? If not,
Say what?
Is there gonna be any news media there?
Media.
I've got Greg McQuaid's email address. I can contact him, see if he can show up.
Good. Good dude. I don't know, I've been there, I've talked to the guys that are putting it together. There's one guy in particular that's putting it together. Josh is, I've talked to him, I've met him. We have an orientation meeting coming up I'll tell you about. So this is, we know how to do this shtick. We did it for 3 or 4 times. We're gonna do our shtick and maybe add some things to it. We don't know how many people we're gonna have, but what the heck, we go out and do it. You know, if nothing else, we'll have a lot of fun talking to each other, right? Okay. So John's gonna do his spectrum analyzer thing. I'm gonna do some stuff with the keys. Rob Thomas is gonna have the display of all of his cute little pieces of gear. Dave White is gonna do, WinLink. Ken Zuderman is going to have build stuff, scopes, meters, that sort of thing. So that's the core we've got started with those that you've done before. So let me take you through some other stuff so you can see what it's about. You wanna click it for me? Okay, so this was, for example, the stuff that Rob Thomas had, okay? Various pieces of gear, okay, that they could look at. This is not Ken's, I couldn't find a picture of his, but we're gonna have some stuff with scopes, meters, that sort of thing. You know, the things you put printed circuit boards on, so people can see, this is how we build things. So those people who are particularly interested in building could see it. Okay, we'll use the next one.
Apparently not.
Apparently not. This is an example of a spectrum display. It's not the exact one he has. What he has is John, are you still out there? He was out. Okay. Anyway, he has a SDI dongle. You still there, John?
Yeah.
Okay. So John is going to do SDR dongle, this kind of display, which they find interesting. You tune in some stuff, let them see the spectrum display. We've done some stuff where we take our HTs and say something and they see it jump up. So that grabs some attention, okay, just to see that, the visual part of that. Okay, next one. The kids really enjoy seeing these, the guts, if you will, open up the show the guts. This is a Manhattan style build, and you kind of look at that, see how it's put together. I've always loved this picture. That kid is just mesmerized by looking at the inside of the circuit. I mean, they're fascinated by it. And you get a chance to show them what some of the stuff is. But, you know, and we did a space station thing down in Hopewell, and we had a thing in which we opened up the inside of a PC. We had a couple of kids that could hardly tear them away from to go back to class. I mean, it just fascinates them. Okay. Here he is, this John Spectrum display here. You might recognize this guy here. He's somewhere here in the room, I think. But this gives you a sense of people milling around and looking at it. So if nothing else, they get to know that ham radio is alive and we're doing stuff. And these are active stuff. This was Bill's actually active station. We'll have the WinLink station. I think we'll have an HF station, maybe like a GOTA station. So they get to see ham radio being used. I'll give you the next one. So we got to check, I guess, in the cabinet to see if we've got any of the brochures left. We get these brochures from ARRL to hand out, and we need probably some sort of card, Dan, I think, to tell us who this is, you know, who we are, and how to get a hold of us. We had that last year, and I think we got it. Don't remember who put that together. Let's see if we can find it.
I think,
Did
I'm
Rob
gonna
do that
say
one?
Ken did it.
Ken did it? Okay.
I have some left,
Okay.
but I can get you one.
Who printed them, do you know?
No, that's the problem, John, I don't know who printed them.
All right, so I have one, you want me to just get some made?
Yeah,
Yeah.
as I say, I have some, I gave some to Judy and some to, forget who else. But anyway, it was, to hand out, it was to hand out at, testing.
Okay. Well, this is just a matter of, so they can see who we are, and they can come by if they want to see it, and they can look up on the website, that sort of thing.
Maybe a QR code?
Yeah, we had one with QR code on it one time. We'll take a look at it and see it, see what we got. So yeah, I guess QR code and, all right, what's the next one? Okay, so this is rough guess for the layout. We're gonna be outside. I think we're gonna have 2 of these little tents to go. Bill thinks you got one, right? And Rob's got one, so we probably have some cover, which is good if it's bright. It's gonna be November 2nd, So it may be chilly or it may be beautiful sunshine, we don't know. If it rains, by the way, we all line up in the hallways for school. We just kind of put all the things in there. Usually they have blacksmiths, they have textile people, they have a variety of different maker things there. Anyway, so we'll probably have, we'll have Dave with his Winlook station, John with his Spectrum display. I think we'll probably display Rob Thomas's toys here. We'll have these code keys, which you're gonna help me work on later, these here, okay? That's for the kids, they go absolutely, it turns out at a certain age, if you can put together some codes that the parents don't know about, this is wonderful to have. So they're absolutely fascinated with it. So we hand out these things, and I'm gonna 6 to 21, right? And then we have these things we cut in strips, and it's the phonetic code and the Morse code here. And I've got some pictures of the kids down at the school sitting there looking at each other, holding these things up and sending notes back and forth. I mean, it's amazing to see what that does. Then Ken's gonna have his builder stuff and test equipment, and I think we're gonna have, Bill, you'll have some sort of a go-to station, and we'll see what else we can find.
Probably the
Here.
mag loop.
Huh?
Probably the mag loop.
Okay. I've got an S-Bit-X and that sort of thing. So there's the symbol. I think I got one other thing back here.
This one?
Got one more, I think.
Oh.
Oh, I thought, yeah. Okay, so if you're interested in going to the registration, you can look it up. And this one's going to be at a brewery. So this is the drink and learn part, if you're interested in going to figure out what they're gonna do. Give me the next one. Some of us of a certain age are gonna use the virtual link. So you can go out there, so if you're interested in seeing this and going out to see it, send me a note and you can send it to school at RARclub.net if you want to, I can get it that way. I'm gonna tune into this one to get the orientation, so that's that. Okay, so this is a work session, so tonight what we gotta do? We need to go through these, some of you can gather in a circle, go through these. Some of them have sounders on them, and let's see if I can find one that does. Okay, so I think we want to get the ones with sounders. How many do you need? You're good. Okay, so this is going to be, we're going to get them squared away. We've got some fresh batteries, and then it's going to take them to the Boy Scout
the jamboree.
Use them there because the kids love that.
Yeah.
And then we're going to get them to use there. We're going to put them in the end of the table and let the kids play with the code.
Yeah.
With some of us hanging around them. They love that. So some of these, the batteries have had it, and so we need to replace the batteries. We've got some spare batteries. So it's a matter of some of us to gather around and find the ones that have sounders. The reason we don't have sounders on some of them is when we first experimented with it, we realized that 15 sounders in a classroom was not something we wanted. So we created most of them without sounders, and even the ones with sounders, there's a switch, you can turn it off. Well, this one doesn't have a switch. Anyway, so I think we'll probably do the sounders there. I think we probably only need a half dozen. So the other thing we need to do, and maybe we just prepare it and don't do it yet, is the problem with these sort of things is they're wonderful and they're mesmerizing. And I think I'm gonna take this home. So what we need to do tonight is make some 3-inch lengths of this stuff and 3-foot lengths of this stuff, and we're going to, maybe after you get them back, tie them around here and tie them to the table so that they stay. All right?
So you want me to do that when I take them to Mineral? I mean, I'm gonna be right there with the kids.
Yeah, you can be right there with the kids, because the way we go to the table situation, this is usually a big milling crowd.
Okay, yeah.
So we were not gonna be standing over the kids quite so much, so that's why I want the halter on this thing. And, let's see, what else we got? So we gotta test the units and get the security codes on them. Anybody who's good with scissors and doesn't cut themselves, we need to slice these things up, because we give the kids these things, these strips to hand out, and it has the phonetic code, it has the Morse code on it. And these we let them take home. It's advertising from us, because it's got our name at the bottom, and it allows them to go home and give these secret codes that parents don't know.
Yeah, give those to.
Huh?
Give them the wood.
Yeah, and then you've done the ones you,
Yeah, that's 50 of them. I'm gonna make a whole slew of them to take to.
so this is
Mineral.
Morse code is laser cut.
And that'll fit in the Altoids tin for what it's worth.
An Altoids tin, okay.
Yeah, I
All
like
right.
that.
Let's see, and, the other thing, and maybe one of the most important ones, is this clipboard right here. So this clipboard's gonna work its way around the table with my pen. And you get to sign up for about a 2-hour period, as suits you. You can stay longer if you want. It's good to have, if we have a lot of people, it's good to have us milling around, to talk to them, to point out the things, to answer questions. And then have some time off, because you're gonna wanna walk around and see the other makers. You know, you're gonna wanna not be there, even if you go and don't wanna stay. You can be relieved after a couple of hours, just wander around and see everybody else's stuff. I've always found the blacksmiths particularly fascinating, I hope they're there. I'm not sure what to do about HTs, I might get some HTs and get those squared away. We've got some down there, but I don't want to disturb that church group just down there so anymore, so we can do that later. All right?
All right, thanks, Bruce.
That's it. So we'll tackle these and slice these up, and we gotta go. Any questions, or? As I say, I don't know how many people we're gonna have, but, we can sit around and mill and talk ourselves and, bring a radio with you or, an HT with you and plan to play. And play either with the people who are there or play with each other. Batteries. Scissors. Most people use the scissors, the people who don't hurt themselves.
I have a really shaky hand, otherwise I would do it.
The other thing I found with this cord is you have to kind of, after you've cut it, you gotta kind of burn the end of it. That's all I've got. I mean, otherwise, it's just whoever wants to work on this is fine. The rest of you can mill around and talk to each other, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I'll put it in there.
All right? All right, thank you.
Congratulations.